Are you guys good? Good morning. It is now 11:30. We'll go ahead and begin our briefing. My name is Isaac Sanchez. I'm a Public Information Officer assigned to the Valley Fire. And I'd like to welcome everybody to our September 10th briefing for the Valley incident. I would like to remind everybody to please silence your cell phones, and if you have any conversations, please take them off to the side area. There will be no questions initially while the speakers are speaking. Please hold all questions until all presentations have been given. I'd like to kick this off by introducing California Incident Management Team 15 Operations Section Chief Mike Milkovich.
Good morning. I'm going to give you a little history of the fire. Fire started out here east of the Ludlow area and progressed significantly on the first day in that 4,000 acre realm. Over the following few days, with a west wind, the fire moved down to the east and basically is in the same location that we see now. We then had our east wind event come in with outstanding work by your firefighters. We were able to hold this west side in essence to the same footprint the fire was in the day before. Nothing short of amazing that we were able to hold the fire there. The fire is not complete. Although we're showing containment on the fire, we do have some areas that we have heat through here. We're working diligently to take care of those areas today. We're focusing on our priorities on structure protection out on the west side up to the north where we have homes. We are doing perimeter control. You're starting to see that black line show up where the crews are working, and we have containment on the fire. And we're doing mop-up in and around the structures as well as structure defense. I'd like to introduce one of our unified commanders, Jason Malnerich. I blew it, and I'm an itch as well. Malnerich.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Jason Malnert, CAL FIRE San Diego, San Diego County Fire. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our friends and partners with VA Hos for providing the accommodations and hospitality and support through this incident from the start. As Mike said, we've made pretty good progress on this fire and are feeling good in the progress we have made. I'd like to recognize the firefighters on the ground for the efforts they put forward through their hard work and commitment. Attention to detail. They have made a tremendous amount of success out there. We are currently at 17,665 acres. Minimal growth since the last press conference 2 days ago. Just shows the amount of success we've had out there through this wind event. Currently sitting at 32% containment, and we do expect those containment numbers to continue to go up as we move forward over the next couple days. Couple things, as you guys are well aware, we've had red flag conditions throughout the state of California. They've been for the long haul, a lot of work ahead of us, and we currently have 29 major complexes throughout the state of California that's requiring a significant amount of resources and strain, both locally and throughout the state, as well as other states coming in to assist. 37 new fires just yesterday in initial attack status, just to show the amount of additional strain that comes up in those, in addition to those prolonged incidents that we are now dealing with. Currently, there's over 2.6 million acres that have been consumed by vegetation fires this year throughout the state of California. And again, 3.1 million acres, over 7,600 fires in 2020 alone. And with that, for additional details on the Valley Fire, I'd like to introduce my partner, Unified Incident Commander Tom Klimo.
Thanks, Chief. Tom Klimo, Incident Commander, California Team 15. As I had stated the other day in the press conference and alluded to by Chief Milkovich, we would not be where we are today in this footprint without the incredible efforts, incredible relationships that are enjoyed by this county. It's become very clear to myself and my team that the lessons that were learned here from previous fires have resulted in a level of cooperation that frankly is required to get us to where we are today. Some of those relationships include a very unique agreement, unique within the state of California, with the military, specifically to allow us to access aircraft that otherwise would not be available. This includes the 3 Navy ships that we had here, airships, and 2 Marine Corps ships, that when watching them was a very orchestrated, water-dropping response to secure areas of line that we otherwise would have not been able to secure. That is the type of cooperation and relationships that we need to have to be successful. As Chief Malnrich alluded to, the fires that are going on in the western United States right now are unprecedented, even to our most senior leadership and senior, most tenured people on incident management teams in this country. We have not seen this before. We cannot get through this unless we get through it together. Despite the resource challenges on this incident, with the cooperation of CAL FIRE, the incident management team, and the Forest Service, we've been able to acquire the necessary resources, nearly 1,000 firefighters, to take care of this challenge that we have on the hill behind me. That could not be done, again, without the relationships that are here. And to Viejas, thank you so much for the hospitality. The team, on behalf of the incident management team, we greatly appreciate it. One of the additional partners that we've had in executing our mission to help get people out of harm's way have been the San Diego County Sheriff's Office. I can't say enough about them. And to speak more to that, I'd like to invite Lieutenant Tony O'Boyle to the stage. Lieutenant.
Good morning, folks. I understand that this fire incident has caused a great deal of stress, anxiety, and frustration among the residents, and we empathize with that and anyone who has been affected by the fire. I just would like to assure everybody that every decision that comes from our unified command is done with the #1 priority of preservation of life and safety. I would like to talk a little bit about repopulation. We have some areas that are still under evacuation order. We would encourage everybody to stay out of those areas. Just because you don't see smoke or flames doesn't mean there aren't hazards in there, and there are down power lines, gas leaks, unstable boulders and hotspots, so please stay out of those areas. Most of the areas actually have the evacuation orders have been lifted and changed to evacuation warnings, but we would encourage everybody to be vigilant and be ready to evacuate because conditions could change. What we would like everybody to do as well is, so you get the most up-to-date information immediately, register for evacuation alerts at readysandiego.org. I'd like to talk about some of the road closures as well. We still have some soft closures in effect, and so people understand what a soft closure is. It means that the road is closed and the only people who can pass are law enforcement, fire, and critical infrastructure such as gas, electric, those kind of vehicles. We do also have some resident-only closures. What resident-only closures means is that residents who can prove that they are from that area can access the area. So please be prepared to carry ID showing that you have a residence in the area you're trying to get into. Please, folks, if you're not from the area, stay away. It's not a time to be getting photographs. It's not a time to be flying drones. It's not a time to be getting video. Stay out of the area because it only inhibits fire's reaction to the issues that they have out there. Residents can find tips on how to safely return home at sdcountyrecovery.com. Thank you very much, and I would like to turn you over to Supervisor Tangenberg.
Thank you, Lieutenant O'Boyle, and thank you to everybody who's been putting in an amazing amount of effort to help contain and control this wildfire in San Diego County and in the Cleveland National Forest. I am National Forest Supervisor Scott Tangenberg for the USDA Forest Service, responsible for the lands initially impacted by this fire. And yet I work cooperatively and rely so heavily on all of the partners that have already been mentioned by the previous speakers. Thank you so much, again, to Team 15 for coming in, for CAL FIRE for providing so many valuable resources, to the military, to the county, to the CHP, and of course to the Sheriff's Department as well. The Sheriff mentioned the need to remain out of the area if you don't physically live there and if you don't have business there. I'm going to echo that for not just the areas encompassing the fire, but encompassing the entire Cleveland National Forest. We have issued a forest-wide closure. If you're not a resident of an area incorporated within the National Forest and you don't have business within the National Forest, now is not the time to come and recreate on the National Forest. When the danger has subsided and the fire activity is much lower, there will be plenty of opportunities to enjoy our public lands again. But as we've seen, not just in San Diego County, but statewide and across Oregon and Washington as well, our wildlands are in tinder dry conditions. The amount of fire on the ground is unprecedented. And when the wind events come, the explosive growth that we can see on these fires can be life devastating. Life and safety, again, are our top priority. And with that, we put an immense amount of effort in protecting homes and property as much as possible. We also have a responsibility to help protect our natural resources on the hillside. It's these watersheds that provide the drinking water for thousands and tens of thousands of people downstream. Wildlife habitat, recreation opportunities, etc. And the immense cooperation that I spoke of before and the incredible use of aircraft and the crews that we were available has helped to create an environment where this fire, thankfully, was not going to repeat the patterns that several other fires have up and down the West Coast. 17,000 acres sounds like a lot of land, but compared to many of the fires that are currently still actively burning across the state of California and other places, it is a relatively small number. We're thankful for the fact that that is a relatively low impact to both, again, our communities and our natural resources. However, given the fact that a significant portion of our watershed has burned and burned in a severe manner, we will be shifting soon to a damage assessment team, not just for the structures that were lost, but also the impacts to the watershed, and providing scientific evaluations of what those impacts may indeed be, and see if there are indeed anything we can do to mitigate those impacts, protect downstream resources such as water quality. All of those things are very important. All of those things are all of our responsibility, and all of us work together to help redeem that responsibility and care for these resources for the citizens of not just San Diego, but for the entire United States. That cooperation has been exceptional, and I want to thank my next speaker for all of her assistance in that cooperation, Supervisor Diane Jacob.
Good morning, and thank you very much, and particularly a huge thank you to all those that have been on the front lines. A phenomenal effort by our firefighters and the deputy sheriffs and the highway patrol and the ground crews and the aerial support. As we know, it's that 1-2 punch that puts out the fires. Oh, and I must mention Mother Nature, too. The anticipated fast and furious winds that we thought would be happening did not happen this time. Having said that, today is pretty much a good news day, but the fire is still burning and it's not out yet. And we have not reached the peak of our fire season. Remember, that peak usually happens in October. Some vivid reminders there. Our most damaging fires have occurred in October. So this is just a warning shot, basically, of what we might be facing in the coming months. This is not over. It's just starting. We were lucky on this one, and I can't say it enough, and it's been repeated by a couple of speakers before me. Now is the time, if you haven't done it, put together that Go Kit, download the SD emergency app, sign up for reverse 911 notifications known as Alert San Diego, and at readysandiego.org. I want to briefly address those who have been directly affected, though. Those that have lost their home, the number so far is 30. And my heartfelt sympathy goes out to all of you. I don't think any of us realize the impact that losing a home has on the lives of those people, those families, those children. But the County of San Diego is here to help, and I want to send a message this morning of how you can secure that help. And we're here 24/7. I'm here 24/7 to do all I can to bring those resources to you. Victims that have suffered losses, you will face a long, tough road ahead. What I'm taking to the Board of Supervisors next Tuesday is first waiving building permit fees. When you're ready to put in your application for a building permit, you'll be put first in line, an expedited process, and I know a lot of you are not there yet. You're still cleaning up, and the property needs to be cleaned up, but we want to make the recovery effort as smooth as possible. So here's what you can do. Those affected by the fire should call the county's Recovery Assistance Hotline, and that number is 858-715-2200. Or you can email valleyfirerecovery@sdcounty.ca.gov. Both are staffed from 8 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m. at night. The county is also preparing a local assistance center. We're well-skilled, well-versed in doing this now, and that center is going to be set up to assist residents that have been affected by the fire. Even if you've lost an outbuilding and you haven't lost just a home, but an outbuilding, any kind of a structure to help you. This will include representatives from state, and local agencies, including County Public Works, the Health and Human Services Agency, State Department of Insurance, and many, many others will be there all in one location to provide you assistance, a one-stop shop. That location will be at the Rancho San Diego Library, and the hours will be Saturday, Sunday between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., and on Monday between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. Again, that's the Rancho San Diego Library. Saturday, Sunday hours 10 to 6, Monday hours 11 to 7. If you're not a victim of the fire, but you'd like to help, and there's a lot of people, and we've had calls of people want to help, and that's a good thing. One way is through the San Diego Foundation. From what I understand, donating money is the best way. Some entities are not accepting donations directly just because of the COVID situation. So the best way to donate through San Diego Foundation. That has created a San Diego Regional Disaster Fund specifically to help the victims of this fire, the Valley Fire, and they will collect and manage the donations for those who have been impacted by this fire. And those donations can be made by visiting, well, the www part, but the sdcountyrecovery.com. That's sdcountyrecovery.com, and finding the San Diego Foundation link. It'll be right there for you. Thank you all. Be prepared, be safe, be alert, and I thank you all for being here.
Thank you, everybody. So we're going to take some questions, but first I have to let you know that we're going to keep it to about 4 or 5 questions if we can get them. Everybody that you see on stage right now is a part of the planning process for the operational periods going forward. So first of all, are there any questions? Okay, sounds like it was a thorough briefing. Thank you, and we will reach out via email if we have any additional briefings coming up. Thank you.